What up, everybody? Got a Sunday night edition of the Beefy Boys Breakdown. It's episode 89. We're going over UFC Fight Night, Vieira versus Holm, and we're to the main card. Actually, here's Harrison right now.
Got some quick brew feed out here, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, man. You got to have some brews, man. Cheers to episode 89.
89.
89 episodes, man. That's wild, man. Been a long journey. Actually, I had a Facebook memory the other day pop up of like me, you, and some of the boys. We watched it was like an old Stipe card. It was like UFC 180 something. Back when I was still in Oklahoma, and I was like, damn,
Really?
we knew about this fight shit, and we've always been fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I kind of forget.
I did want to ask you too, what is the card on International Fight? Oh, it's Adesanya, Cannonier, Volkanovski, Holloway.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people people think there's going to be more heat added.
Yeah, I mean, right now, Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira's on there, Misha Tate, Lauren Murphy, Munoz O'Malley, Uriah Hall. Oh, it's actually all built out. We have 11 fights right now. They'll probably add 2 or 3 more. But Uriah Hall, Andre Muniz, that's a banger.
Give me Muniz all day.
Jessica I, Macy Barber, banger. Brad Tavares, Dricus Duplessis, also a banger, low key. Robbie Lawler, Brian Barberena.
Yeah, no, that fight's going to be dope.
Jalen Turner, Brad Riddell in the early prelims.
Oh, you know. Oh.
Disrespect!
Dude, yeah, because we're both big Jalen Turner guys.
But listen to the names I listed before that.
I know.
He's not getting a spot overall, though.
We're going to have to play so many bets on that card, dude. Like parlay, single bets, props. We're going to have to spread it around.
Are we just going to go heavy O'Malley? Are we just going to go one? Am I just going to make a solo $100 O'Malley bet?
It just depends what that money line is. You know what I'm saying?
O'Malley get a finish, of course. No, the money line's minus 240. The lines are out for all the fights now, too.
Minus 240 for O'Malley. Yeah, that's tough to bet straight up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's real tough. Yeah, props aren't out yet. There are some Volkanovski Holloway props already out.
Let's go into decision, right?
Under 4.5 rounds is plus 165. Fight goes the distance is minus 200.
Holloway just always goes the distance, though. You can't finish him.
And you can't finish Volk.
And you can't finish Volk. It's definitely going the distance. God damn it. You don't want it to, but it is. And then we're going to get another weird decision and have the fucking Volk Holloway 97 in a couple of years.
Now, I will say, Max Holloway at plus 155, I don't hate that number. I'm not
betting against Volk. You can fuck yourself. I'm not. You can ride that one solo. You can sweat that one solo. I'm not betting.
All right.
Against
Well,
Volk.
what about Alex Pereira's minus 120 against Sean Strickland? You know how disrespectful that is?
No, disrespectful to Sean Strickland?
Yeah.
So the Strickland bet. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say the bet. I was like, yeah, no.
Strickland's ranked number 4, and he's the underdog to the unranked fighter.
And this is the way hardest fight of Pereira's career. And Sean Strickland, he likes to strike, but he can mix it up. He's an actual mixed martial artist. Pereira's actually a kickboxer.
Yeah. So sorry, I just had to bring up all the potential bets here to introduce our parlays for the main card.
Yeah. We didn't have as much success on the main card as we did the prelims, and I don't think anybody really won on the main card as much as honestly the prelims were better than the main card last night.
Cheaty had a good night, but kind of fucked me over.
Yeah, exactly. Fucked us both over. I was riding that one with you. Now this next fight's interesting because I think we both bet it, but we both had different bets on it. I had Park just to win in my parlay. And you had this fight going over. Was it over 1.5 or over 2.5?
Over 2.5.
Over 2.5. So essentially going the distance for the most part. I mean, I guess there's a little gray area there, but for the
I
most
will
part,
say, at no point was this fight ever in jeopardy of being stopped. So I never even sweated that bet. Honestly, it was weird. Like watching the fight, I was like, "This is perfect."
Oh, I was sweating my bet. We'll get to it. And this is also going to prove that I am the most objective man on planet Earth. because I went against my own interest here, and we'll get to it here. We had Eric Anders plus 160 against Jin Young Park minus 205 in the middleweight division. And you know what? This was a hatred bet. I had a couple of hatred bets on this on mine, and they kind of bit me in the ass eventually. But I don't like Anders' skill set. And then I was talking to my wife about it. I was like, "It's like some weird self-hatred shit." Anders, former college linebacker. Like, you think I would love him? Like, is this like some weird self-hatred? Like, I didn't see us shrink. Tony Soprano go see some therapy because, like, I just can't stand this fucking guy. But this guy's fucking me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to interpret that. This guy is like should be my favorite fighter. He's so similar to me in a lot of ways, and I just can't stand Eric Anders. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need help with that.
Well, Vegas kind of hates him too because he's plus 160 here. The Iron Turtle's minus 190. And, like, when you think about
205 finished at minus
Oh, is that what it finished at?
Yeah.
Damn, I wrote it down before the fight started because I was driving.
No, you're good, bro. Yeah, there was a lot of movement on these lines throughout.
Yeah, that's nice to see that the late money came on Eric Anders because I think the late money was smart money, apparently. So diving into the scoring, I did score the first round to Eric Anders.
You want to know the weird part about my notes is, like, I don't have the word close or, like, competitive in any of my notes. Like, I had clear winners in each of these rounds.
I thought Anders just did all the damage. Like, for as much as Park walked him down and, like, controlled the center, he kind of was eating big shots to do it.
I had Anders winning round 110-9. I mean, he had more volume, he had more pressure, and he was able to keep it standing. You could tell Park was wanting to clinch and grapple, and Anders made it a strike fest, and then proceeded to win the strike fest. So yeah, I really don't see how there's controversy in round one. Did any judge give round one to Park?
Yeah, one judge, only one of the three. Anthony Manis.
I don't really know him, but he can go fuck off because that's stupid. I mean, right? You gave round one to Anders, right?
Yeah, no, I did. Like I said, I thought he landed the better shots. Obviously threw way more punches. I mean, Park controlled as far as like the, I guess, the visual. Park was kind of coming forward, I guess, and pressed him on the cage a few times. But, like, what is that worth?
Clearly, you have to win a round to get a guy that bet against you to, like, clearly give you the round. You know what I'm saying? like I was trying to.
I'm with you. I thought it was pretty obviously Anders, but.
And then round two, I guess round two was a little murkier. It was a little harder to score. But in my opinion, maybe it's going to sound like an arrogant prick thing to say. If you know what you're fucking looking at, like Anders was like leading the engagements. He was throwing first and landing cleaner. He was moving forward. He actually had a takedown. And then, I mean, he had the bad low shot to Park, but no point got deducted, so I can't factor that in. I mean, I just don't see. I mean, Park, you know, I don't know. I don't say you give round two to Park. I give it to Anders.
I also gave it to Anders. I thought he was mixing it up super well as far as like the wrestling entries into striking, and then he would disengage from the grappling whenever Park would turn his back on the cage. He would essentially get away within like a 30-second window, reset
he
the position.
Managed that distance really, really, really well.
I thought he just controlled the fight for the most part. You know what I mean? At least through the first two rounds. So I had him up 20-18.
Bro, I don't disagree. And like I said,
only one judge agreed with this.
I had a lot of money riding on fucking Park, and I still see it the exact same as you. So that's how you know I'm a real motherfucker.
Now check this out. One judge had it 2018 Park through two rounds.
That's just such a joke. Like, that's just such a joke. Like that. Like literally, he can go fuck himself. Like I said, he helped me. Cool, thank you, I guess. But I mean. I'm not that. I've been accused of being a selfish prick. I'm not selfish enough to want my own pockets over the integrity of the sport of mixed martial arts. Like, I'm not that much of a selfish prick.
So check this out. Two of the judges out of the three of them scored it for Park. So the majority of the second round was Park. The majority of the first round was Anders. But get this: one judge has it 19-19, one judge has it 2018 Andrews, and one judge has it 2018 Park going into the third.
I didn't find this that hard to score, bro, and I'm not being arrogant. There's been a lot of fights where we broke them down and we're like, hey, coin flip, like, hey, could have gone either way, like, hey, not dying on any hills. Like, I don't like, bro, like that. I didn't find this fight that hard to score. Like, and I think a lot of people did it.
To me, the way Park fought the third round kind of showed me that I think he thought he was down 2 rounds.
I agree, and I love how he fought in round 3, and he won round 3. And
that's what I have as well. I think he won round 3, and I think he barely edged it out.
As the guy who bet on him, I was counting on him fighting like round 3 the whole goddamn fight.
So check this out. The judge that scored the first 2 rounds for Park scored that round for Andrews.
Like literally, like
it makes no sense.
No. Like, it's so bad, bro. It's so bad. I mean, like I said, we got to be objective here because other sports have had this shit too. Remember the Rams Saints playoff game a couple years ago? Worst pass interference to like ever grace a gridiron, doesn't get called, literally impacts the Super Bowl winner.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, it's so easy to be hard on MMA judging, and it's fucking atrocious. But this shit happens in other sports, man. It does. I mean, we've been on the wrong side of it as brothers in arms. You know what I mean? On the football field, we've gotten jobbed. I mean,
oh yeah, Muskogee.
You know what I mean? People get jobbed. You know what I mean? Like, it happens in all sports. I mean, baseball is the goddamn worst. The strike zone is just, that's like a mythical thing. Like
that's why you see dudes get tossed so fucking often for arguing it.
So, I mean, it's so easy to kick MMA while it's down, and this is the hot topic of hot garbage judging. But it does happen in other sports quite often. I mean, basketball officiating is just literally just like close your eyes and you know, spin a wheel. I mean, it's random. I mean, there's superstar calls, the Jordan calls, LeBron calls. The traveling doesn't exist anymore. I mean, I know I'm getting off the rails here. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to stick up for MMA here. I fucking love MMA. I love the sport. It's low-hanging fruit right now just to, like, call bullshit. And we are calling bullshit. I'm just, like, keeping it in perspective. Fuckery happens, like, in all sports.
I just loved your reaction when I told you that because it's the exact opposite of our scorecards. You were just like, I'm done with it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just like that. You know me, bro. I be trying to make, like, devil's advocate arguments. I be trying to, like, see where people's coming from. Like, I really try to keep an open mind. Like, yeah, the whole thing is subjective after all. But it's
now,
just
I will say,
be subjective and still be wrong. Like that's true.
That's true. That is true.
You know,
I thought Anders could have won all 3 of these rounds. Honestly, I saw an argument in round 3.
I thought Park clear. I thought, like I said, I didn't have a hard time scoring this at all. It was 2 rounds to 1, clear as day, all day, every day. Fuck anything else. Like seriously, that's how I feel. Like this fight was not hard to score, bro. It was.
See, I think 1 and 2 were clearly Anders. I think 3 was close, and I think Park edged it out. And it's hard to argue for Anders.
I mean, do you like Anders' like takedown attempts because they were still getting stuffed repeatedly? But I mean, did you like that? Because that's all it did was like.
Yeah, but
takedown.
It was an interesting take. But both DC and Felder agreed in the moment you don't get scored for defense, and I think that's an interesting take.
You don't get scored for failures either.
That's what I'm saying. But at least he's attempt, like it's like throwing a strike. Like you didn't land it, but you did something. Like Park wasn't really doing anything. Yeah, activity even still.
I thought Park threw more strikes and landed more strikes. I think even the numbers favored Park in round 3. So I felt
it was close though. But I agree with you.
Yeah, no. This card. I mean, like I said, this is a guy who this decision benefited me greatly. This kept my parlay alive. Like I was thankful. Like I literally.
Were you shocked when there was a split decision?
I literally was like the judge. The minute the second judge gave it to Park, I started repeating it like a fucking chant, like a mantra. I was like, "Bad judging is gonna win me money. Bad judging is gonna win me money. Bad judging is gonna win me money. Bad judging is gonna win me money." Like I disagreed with it, but I was
the gambling addict was just pouring out.
Oh, dude, I was just like bad judging is gonna fucking come through for me. And it did. It fucking did twice.
Yeah. So to let the people at home know, Jun Young Park wins by split decision, 29-28 on 2 cards, 28-29 on the third. Like we said, the one judge that gave it to him scored the fight the exact opposite of us. Don't even know how that's possible. The other judge that scored it for Park gave him rounds 2 and 3.
Here's a
the
thumbnail.
judge.
Here's a thumbnail. What is that? Yeah.
And the judge that scored it for Anders scored rounds 1 and 2 to Anders. He had the exact same scorecard as us. That was Mike Bell. Shout out to Mike Bell.
Yeah, Mike Bell's usually solid, right? I mean,
Saul D'Amato scored it for Jun Young Park, and I usually love Saul D'Amato.
I just, like I said, we've watched a lot of murky fights, bro. I don't consider that one of them.
No, I think it's as clear cut as the next fight, and I think the scorecards on the next fight were also a robbery.
Yeah, okay. Oh, man. See, this is why I missed you last week, bro. Because there were so many scorecard things. I was like, I wonder if I'm just alone here and parents would have agreed with me. But yeah. So next we got Tabitha Ricci, minus 125 versus Polyana Viana, plus 105 in strawweight. Harrison had money on this one. I did not. My reason for not riding this one with you is, I'll be real, it's a really stupid reason. I read like this like Facebook article about like
The bots got you.
Polyana Viana, like, she like got like mugged, or like they tried to rape her or something, and she like beat the fucking shit out of this dude, and like it was like a super sick story, and I was like, oh, that's sick, like.
Oh wow, that's like a 1.5-year old story.
I know, dude. I just showed it.
You just got juiced. That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
For people at home,
I remember Ricci. I know who Ricci is. She fought Fioro. She was tough as nails.
Super tough.
And we love Fioro, but I was like, what? I didn't know how to like juxtapose that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to translate like being really tough but getting beat the fuck up and outclassed. Like I didn't know how to translate that to somebody your own size, because she was up a weight class against like the biggest flyweight in the division. So it's like I didn't know how to what to do with that information. It's not like I didn't know or I didn't have that information. I just couldn't process it in a way that made me feel good about you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I sat this one out.
Yeah,
what
that's
was your
fair.
logic? What were you feeling Ricci so hard?
So when we saw her get TKO'd by Manon Fioro in the second round of their fight, but Fioro is ranked number 6 at a weight class heavier
already.
Yeah,
to 6. Oh, that's our girl. Oh yeah, we called that. We called that.
Right. So point being is that I liked that for Ricci, seeing that you went up a weight class. You're not scared of anything. There's no mental space here. And that was her UFC debut that she did that in. She was getting into the UFC by doing that. Then she fought Maria Oliveira in her last fight in October. Won that fight, unanimous decision.
Right, that's what I'm saying. She wants to really good and be a can. I just didn't know what to do with the information.
I just remember her looking a lot more physically imposing at 115 against a 115 woman. You know what I mean? I thought that was a big change for her. And then Polyana Viana, I'm not super high on because she's so comfortable playing off her back. She has a tendency to stay in guard and just want to be in guard. Whereas Ricci, kind of like a hybrid jiu-jitsu wrestler. She likes to grapple and
No, you called it, bro. Paula Viana being on her back and thinking she can win a fight from her guard is the reason why she lost this fight. And you can call it a spoiler or whatever. That's what happens. Even though I was rooting for you because you had money on this fight, I was rooting for Ricci. I think Viana lost this fight more than Ricci won it. Viana was trying to play jiu-jitsu way too much. She was way too willing to accept bottom position. She wasn't working to get back to her feet. I mean, it's a story as old as time with these jiu-jitsu fighters, but it was just a bad example. It was when jiu-jitsu goes wrong. You know what I'm saying? That can, if this makes a clip, that can be the title of the clip. When jiu-jitsu goes wrong, because it she was. Yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, you can go glass half full reaching, but oh, that was 3 rounds of top control. But it was really Viana like trying to play jiu-jitsu, accepting position, being on her back. Like it was, I hate watching these type of fights, to be honest.
Yeah, and so Ricci being from a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu place originally before she even started fighting, I figured she's going to have at least good defensive Jiu-Jitsu if she's on top. It's
Which
not that
she
hard.
did.
Yeah, it's not that hard to be defensive when you're on top. You know what I mean? You're a lot less vulnerable, I think. And so essentially how the fight plays out is exactly how I thought it'd play out. Now, my problem here is that I thought the commentary team was painting a very poor picture of the fight because I thought Ricci was winning the first round by literally just being on top. And the little bit of ground and pound she was doing was much more than Biana was really doing with her submission attempts because they weren't really ever even close.
Totally agree. Totally
for the commentary team to be acting like Viana was dominating the round didn't make any sense to me. She couldn't control where the fight took place.
You know what? I didn't really notice it, but you're right. I mean, that's what they were saying. They were wrong. I definitely had round 110-9 Ricci. Wasn't really
all three
close.
Of the judges had it. All three of the judges agreed that it was a Viana round. I don't see it.
Shaking top control. I mean, all right. I mean, it's not. I can. Viana was attempting subs. Like she attempted quite a few subs, which got stuffed.
She had no official sub attempt credits though because she never got one deep enough.
Hey, okay, I was trying here. I thought there was a couple. You're right. Maybe they weren't deep enough, but they saw that as activity clearly, right? I mean, what else would you possibly score? I mean, it's kind of hard to.
She threw almost twice the amount of strikes. She threw almost twice the amount of strikes as Poliana or as Ricci.
Just was whiffing, or just was it consequential, or
they were just so many ground strikes, so many from her back that she was throwing.
Oh yeah, strikes from the back. Get out of here. Who cares?
And that's what they must have been counting because she threw over 130 from her back.
That's so lame. Like that's so lame. Like, well, I just don't fuck with that. Like I mean. But that's what we're talking about. This is subjective, and I can't stand that shit. So you ain't gonna win around for me doing that shit.
Well, let me give it to you this way too. Ricci is credited with 5 takedowns out of 10 attempts with almost 10 minutes of control time.
Yeah, and like I said, you can maybe if you want to like really be pro Polyana Viana, the best thing you can do is put an asterisk on that control time and be like. Be on a guard time because that's really what it was, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, I mean, this fight honestly felt like a bit of a snoozer.
Oh, it was, and I'm not really trying to shit on Ricci here or take away. It's just Viana was just playing jiu-jitsu and was just accepting bottom position. That's what it was for 3 rounds, and I scored it. I mean, I scored this 30-27. We can
As did I.
We agreed. Yeah, fuck that first round, dude. Fuck, yeah,
makes no sense. Being from your back, even if you throw up 65 strikes off your back, if you're on your back and you're not aggressively fighting for a position change or a submission, you're not getting a KO from your back that sort of way. Like she never even got to posture up. Like she was literally always pinned, like throwing like sideways hammer fists. Like I'm not scoring that.
Maybe if you do like a Tony Ferguson elbow and cut somebody or break it.
She threw almost no elbows though. It was all just like hammer fists. I know what you're saying. You're saying, but I agree with you.
Like it's so hard. Like we saw Kevin Holland knock out Jacare. It's rare. It's 1 in 1,000.
It's so rare.
It's
Literally, there's only ever been 2. There's only ever been 2. Nico Price and Kevin Holland. Like, it's only ever been 2.
Both in the Beefy Boys Vieira. Let's go.
Yeah, you love to see it.
Yeah, you love to see it, man. But yeah, man, and I love to see you winning this Tabitha Ricci part, this leg of your parlay because
So we're 2 for 3 here. I'm 6 for 6 on the night so far.
Yeah, man, you're feeling it. I'm honestly, I can't wait for next weekend. I got the bug. Like
yeah, we're bringing some heat next week.
We are, man. But we can keep it and that puts Tabitha Ricci at 7-1. Her only loss being to Manon Fiorello, who may go on to be a flyweight champ. Like, that's like the best loss. You know, we're talking about college football playoff, like good losses, NCAA tournament, good losses. Like, that's as good a goddamn loss as you can really have if you're Tabitha Ricci. It kind of doesn't count.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
absolutely. Like,
it's kind of like how we view Adesanya's loss to Blachowicz. Like, yeah, who cares? You went up and you tried something and took on a killer bigger.
Yeah, literally won't debut up a weight class. Literally won't affect her career. Like, it was just a good move to get a contract in the UFC.
If you hold that against her, you're a fucking prick.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, let's keep it pushing to this next
Yeah.
fight. This next fight is going to be the receiver of the next performance bonus of the night. I get that. I'm okay with that.
Yes, I am too, even though it fucking tanked our parlay.
Yeah, so this is the final leg of my main card parlay, the three-way on the main card because I wanted to stay away from the final two fights. Should have rode with you on your co-main.
I had this. Lost my co-main pick, bro. But I had.
Oh
this,
yeah, that's right. Should have rode with you on your main card. Sorry,
I rode with you
or
on
main
this
event.
one, and this is what killed one of my parlays. I was 3 for 4 on one of my parlays with this, but I mean we were close though, bro. We
Close,
really were
man, and it was
close.
like like if the fight progressed the way it was going,
It
there
came
was
out
no
of nowhere. We were
chance.
looking good.
It was so good, and then it hit, and I was literally like,
It came out of nowhere. Get to it, bro. I don't even want to.
so
I
yeah,
have
so
like a bad taste in my mouth. Like I don't even want to do this.
so middleweight, we have Chidi Bang Bang and Joe Kwani minus 275 fighting Dusko Todorovic, sorry, at plus
Bro, is he
220.
low-key trash?
Well, he's the guy. Remember?
Trash.
Do you remember
I
when
know
we
he
broke
was
him down?
undefeated.
He was the guy that said, "My O is more important to me than the belt." He was that guy.
And then he lost his own. We're like, oh, that's bad. And we've been
Yes, and it
it's
broke
been a
him mentally.
spiral.
His mental's broken. He's done. He's probably has one more fight in the UFC, and he's getting cut.
We bet this as the over 1.5 rounds.
Yeah, because Dushko's shown a good chin in some fights.
Well, and it's like under 1.5, as we alluded to earlier. On any fight, it's like risky. Like that's bold. Like even if you really, really, really like a guy,
I guess he did.
1.5.
I guess he did KO Pitolo in his last fight. Forgot about that.
Oh yeah, but see, I mean, I'm not big on Patolo. Like, yeah, I don't know what to do with that. You know what I mean?
I mean, his losses are knockout by Punahele Soriano and unanimous decision to Gregory Rodriguez.
Which we like both of those guys. Good fighters. Another good fighter. I mean, Chidi and Jokwani looks like the real deal.
Yeah, Todorovic honestly has gotten a very rough intro. Now that I look at it,
you're right, but also what are you here for? Like, are you here for cans? Like, true. Anybody who fights a can in the UFC is lucky. That's like a one-off because you're not just gonna get can matchups.
You know, oddly enough, he has a KO of Michel Pereira in his career. Todorovic.
See, that's why I bet against Pereira. I'm just not the biggest Pereira guy. I still am. I'm not. Everybody else is.
So for the fans at home, it was a wrestling, not much striking being traded back and forth. A lot of a clinch battle, a lot of close range striking. Absolutely, not a lot of dangerous activity.
It was looking nice.
Now, with 12 seconds to go in the round, 12 seconds hurts too because you get a reset for the second round.
I know. If it made it to the end of the round,
right? If it literally gone 12 more seconds, I think we hit.
I think so.
Which is super frustrating.
It's so bad.
But this is the life of gambling. And here's what me and D-Mac are talking about, is they're locked up in a clinch standing. So Todorovic just gets a little lazy, gives him a little space, doesn't really suck him in and hug him whenever he's up, kind of gives him that space. And that's all Joe Kwani needed to drop the craziest elbow over the top.
No, it was
that just completely shut the lights out.
Yeah, no, it was really, really violent.
Saucy elbow. I mean, it hurts the parlay, but saucy elbow.
Yeah, no, exactly. This is actually we said where gambling makes it more fun. This is an example of making it not more fun because if I didn't bet this probably would have been my favorite moment of the entire night. And
it was the best KO of the night.
It's just stayed. But yes,
just framed it and then just over. I mean, man, it was perfect.
Oh, it was sick. And I'm high on Joe Kwani.
I like him, and I don't like Todorovic, so it was awesome. Everything about it, I loved.
Everything about it.
It just came too soon.
It came literally 2 minutes too soon.
That's I mean that's about right though, right?
Yeah, no, for a minute it's brutal, but bad beat, as they say. But hey, no, so how it's kind of a thing in sports where the youngest brother is the guy. I think it happened with John Jones, who was the youngest of his brothers. And there's been other examples in sports of the youngest brother being like the best brother. I think Rob Gronkowski may be another one.
Good example.
I think Chidi's brother's name is Anthony, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Anthony and Joe Kawani, and he had like kind of a mediocre career. If it needs really summarizing, I think he fought on the Eagle FC card recently, so you know what I'm saying. And like,
he's probably getting paid for that at least.
Oh yeah, no, I know that sounds shady. Get your bread, but I'm just saying, didn't necessarily pan out. I mean, Mike could be good, but what I'm saying is, we might have an example of little brother being the dude because Chidi, goddamn.
Chidi's got crazy power, man. I like what I see from him. I think that he's been fighting for a long time too, man. Like a long time. 4-fight win streak now. Was in Bellator before he got cut in 2019. Then moved on to LFA for 1 fight. Won that one. Now he's 3 fights in the UFC, 3-0. Beat Marc-Andre Barrio. Beat Duško Todorovic.
Those were 2 good wins.
Yeah.
Seriously. You know, I'm a Barrio guy, so like I like
the power bar.
No.
And he also beat Mario Souza, and I thought Mario Souza is a young guy. He's 12-2 now. Was 12-1 when they fought. That was his Contender Series win, but pretty good fight. You know what I mean? Like impressive record for Chidi so far. And I think he said the funny thing he said that really struck me, and that I think shows why we can put Cole into his hype train, was that they asked him what he thought of the competition level of the UFC, and he said it's below what I thought it would be. And he
fought a tough schedule.
Yeah, and then he continued to say, I'm happy to build my fights though and get my actual build in the UFC. And man, as far as like the business side of it goes, you always want to have a hot 3-4-0 start, because then you're going to get that 6-fight contract. You know what I mean? That's the big one.
And Chidi's in middleweight. We're always talking about middleweight needs depth. Middleweight is a division of guys who will kind of trade. Even the wrestlers, even the Kelvin Gastelums will trade. So it's like, dude, I don't know how many guys is eating these Chidi shots, bro. Like, real talk.
Yeah, he throws big power.
He's a stud athlete. He's a big guy, strong guy, fast guy. I mean, plus athlete, right? I mean,
for sure that.
Talk about bloodline. We know in the NFL we talk about it all the time. Guys who have brothers and cousins in the league, like that shit, like helps. I mean, it's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? I think he's probably learned quite a goddamn bit, both like in and out of the cage from like Anthony's career. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah. I mean, I'm definitely, like I said, I'm here to put the Cole in the hype train.
Yeah, me too. I mean, and I kind of didn't want to at first because, like, in the words, I don't want to sound like Colby here, but he's kind of a journeyman.
Yeah, but I kind of like that about him now from seeing that his journey has been through like Bellator and other serious fight leagues,
Oh yeah, he's like that guy who spends a lot of time in the minors and then is like a rookie all-star in the MLB but he's like a 29-year-old rookie. You know what I mean? Like,
good point.
Yeah, he's like that kind of guy. But no, you're right. Deserved the bonus. Stoked on Chidi. I mean, bum for the parlay. But, I mean, I'm down to keep it pushing to this co-main because this co-main won fight of the night. Am I right?
That is correct. That will be the final bonus of the night. I think very deservedly so. I loved this fight. Significant strike count ends up being 110 to 105.
Did you have a bet on this one?
I did not. I stayed away from this because I was so nervous about it. I remember because I said I wanted to bet it to be fight of the night. Remember that?
I had 2 bets on this fight and lost both of them. So you are a smart man. You stayed away from it. I went all in. I fucking get both balls in this one.
What's crazy is now that the more I say it, that it hit fight of the night, I want that to be a real prop bet. It's usually not unless it's like a big pay-per-view card.
And I can screenshot this. Harrison sent me a text before we were talking bets before the card, probably an hour or 2 before the card. And he was like, man, I really wish there was a prop where you could bet fight of the night because like it's definitely going to be Ponzinibbio Pereira, kind of, give or take a word or two. And I was like, yeah, no, you're right. That would be like a really fun prop. And sure as fuck enough, it ends up being fight of the night.
Yeah, like damn it. I bet you get good odds for that too because it's against the whole card. It's like picking one fight against the field. Like that can't be easy.
Yeah, you're right. Like even this one, like I'll be real, kind of an obvious pick, two exciting fighters, but still, you're
I bet you
right.
still get it at plus
Just the
160.
math. Just the math of it being juxtaposed against 11 other fights. You're right.
Right. So anyway, the overall picture or that I'm trying to paint there is that I expected this to be a great fight, back and forth, that I wasn't going to be sure who was the winner. Now we do have
I'm
a
an
split
idiot.
decision here.
I'm an idiot.
I don't necessarily agree with it.
I'm an idiot.
The gambling demons are flying.
Oh, God damn it. But yeah, so we got Santiago Ponzinibbio plus 125. The 14th ranked welterweight, kind of a gatekeeper to that welterweight division because there's a
We
bunch
literally
of
try to
young
match them up every single week with
every
anyone
week,
welterweight that we like.
yeah, literally. And the whole time we didn't know he was matched up with Michel Pereira. And that's why I bet against Michel Pereira because it's like I think he's overhyped. I do. I think he is kind of gimmicky. Well, this is what I thought going into it. I thought he was overhyped. I thought he was kind of gimmicky. I thought you ain't gonna be a veteran like Ponzinibbio pulling no dumb gimmicky bullshit. You know what I'm
But he
saying?
hasn't really been doing that recently.
I know, but that's still how I view him because I don't like him.
Like, guess
And
who his last win was before this fight? Andre Fiallo.
and that's that's one of those wins where when it happened, nobody gave a fuck, but it's aged really well.
True.
You know, because nobody gave a fuck about Fiallo when he beat him. But now, like, we're Fiallo dick riders. So, yeah, great, good point.
Well, and I think that
I'm
Tristan
going to bet
Connolly.
Fiallo next week. Fiallo fights next week, I think.
I think
No,
that's
he
right.
fights on the Singapore card like 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely put him in a parlay, though. But anyway.
See, I think for Pajeda, where like there's this big cross, right? Where it's like, man, his first 3 fights, he came out and did all that flashy, crazy shit and was gassing himself out and was this fighter that like was either going to be like performance of the night bonus with some crazy shit that works, or he's just going to get dog ass tired and lose a unanimous decision or get stopped, right? Because that's what we saw. Diego Sanchez DQ 3rd round, I think when he threw a knee to the head when he was down. That's just dumb. Connolly was a loss, unanimous decision where he gassed himself.
Dumb, bro. That's in style, bro. That's like what you do.
That's
bro.
Peter Yan. That's like what they do.
That's that fucking thing to do.
But then he comes back against Zalim Imadaev in September 2020, and he's still doing that flashy shit, but he gets a knockout submission. And then he fights Cass Williams, and he starts to fight smarter. He was still throwing crazy big trades, but that fight went to a decision. Then he fights Nico Price and looks really smart. He does that weird little backflip, enter into guard thing, but it worked.
Yeah,
whatever.
that's fucking whack, bro. That's the shit I'm talking about. Everyone's like, oh, he doesn't do that anymore. And I'm like, oh, wasn't the Nico Price fight when he did the fucking backflip fucking stupid ass bullshit? And I'm like, I'm just not a Michel Pereira guy, bro. Like,
no, I get it, but
it was a hate bet. You can't bet with hate or love, and I bet with hate twice, and I think I got burnt both times. But no,
perhaps, but like
I got burnt.
But in his last fight against in his last fight against Fiallo, I thought he looked really good. I thought that he was changing the way he fought and that he wasn't doing that crazy shit and showed he could go a full 15 minutes.
And he's a goddamn middleweight. Like, let's be real. Like, who knows how he's making this? Who knows how he's passing the drug test?
Yeah,
like,
facts.
Like
he got a new set of teeth. You see those?
Yeah, it might be the HGH just made it not.
And they were bright white and way far more forward than his teeth used to be.
I'm just saying, man. I don't know. I think USADA needs to look closer into Pereira. I don't know.
All right, so I think we definitely have to go round by round here because no judge has the same scorecard.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and I'm interested to see your scorecard. And like I said, I've had a track record not of being objective and even going against my own interest when it comes to judging. So I think I've been objective. I gave round 1 to Pereira. I mean, he had the significant strike numbers. You know, the punches and also great kicks to the body. And it was just, goddamn it, when he was in there next to Ponzinibbio, he just looked so much bigger. Like in Ponzinibbio, you know, not the biggest welterweight, but Jesus Christ, it looked like a cross divisional matchup. Like it looked like a middleweight versus a welterweight.
I feel like Ponzinibbio started slow and it let Pereira get momentum, and that's like the thing you cannot let him do, right? Like he is a momentum fighter. Like he likes to get in that flow and start to do his crazy capoeira bullshit. And like when you let him get to that point, it's bad for you, right? And then Ponzinibbio midway through the first kind of started to strike back, put together some combinations, but at that point he already lost the first half of the round.
Yeah,
And I thought that Pereira's movement, because he wasn't taking any damage, was frustrating Ponzinibbio in the first round. I scored 10-9 Pereira in the first round. Actually, every judge did.
yeah, me too. I completely agree. And it was just an issue. Like, maybe this is an oversimplification, but I think it was just a size thing, man. Like, Ponzinibbio and Romo was having a hard time, like, getting inside of the range.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And Ponzinibbio is the 14th ranked fighter at welterweight. I don't know if we remembered to say that for him, but
no, we did, because we talked about him being a gatekeeper.
okay, yeah, good, because Pereira essentially here is getting to the opportunity to take that spot. So going into round 2, he has one in the bag.
See, that's another beef I had with this fight. I think there's a lot of unranked. We do it, like I said, we match up Ponzinibbio all the time. There's a lot of unranked welterweights that I would have rather seen get this shot, and maybe they would have got the same opportunity. I don't know.
Tough to deny Pereira though on a 5-fight win streak at welterweight. That's the only problem.
You know what that is? That's me hating. I'm sorry, it is.
Man, gotta let the hate go. And it might be, we'll get to it, but second round, I thought Ponzinibbio started landing a lot more. I thought he looked a lot more effective, and I thought Pereira's movement was slowing down toward the end of the round. I had round 2, 10-9 for Ponzinibbio because I thought he was landing the better shots, and he got that late takedown that I thought kind of iced it.
Bro, you literally just like read my mind. I see it the exact same way. It's like Pereira probably had more numbers in that round. Like I don't know if he did. But
the striking was 27-24 for Pereira. So he won by 3 strikes, but Ponzinibbio landed the harder strikes.
Exactly. Like I literally have power over volume.
And the volume is so close that like the power differential has to be and the takedown.
See, I wrote that note without knowing the numbers, so it kind of even emboldens the argument. You know what I'm saying? Like, it kind of proves the point. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, Ponzinibbio won round 2 for sure, which as a guy who bet Ponzinibbio, you know what was weird, bro? I'll be real. Like, to this point, I was undefeated, so I had no reason to really be down. No, I wasn't undefeated, but this parlay was still alive. But anyway, what I'm getting at is, I gave Ponzinibbio round 2, but like I wasn't still like stoked about my bet because I just bet Ponzinibbio to win.
Right.
And on a different parlay, I bet the under 1.5. So I was fucked. No, it was under 2.5. And so I guess it was still alive, but I wasn't feeling good after 2 because
not from the way they were fighting.
Yeah, from the way they were fighting, it was back and forth. I wasn't feeling good about either bet, to be honest, and I ended up losing both.
So 2 judges scored that round for Pereira, 1 judge for Ponzinibbio. So 2 judges have it 2018 for Pereira. 1 judge has it 1919. I had it 1919. I guess they valued the slight bit of extra volume and they discounted power. Whatever, I don't care. Subjective, stupid, they're dumb, they're wrong, they can be wrong. It's fine.
They're wrong.
But in the third round, I thought Pereira opened the round really well, and then Ponzinibbio made a nice resurgence. And with about a minute left, I thought it was pretty much a toss-up of a round, and both guys were just going for it. I think they both knew it was kind of a toss-up of a round. I was leaning toward Ponzinibbio in the third, and he had more volume, but I think he actually was landing the less effective strikes, but his volume was like 40-29.
Bro, I feel the exact same way. Round 3 was a banger. Round 3 is what won both of these men $50,000. I also gave it to Ponzinibbio. Like I said, I'm pretty biased.
Well, 2 judges here gave it to Ponzinibbio, so the majority went to Ponzinibbio for round 3.
Weird, dude. That's fucked up, kind of.
Right. That's how I feel because I thought he more clearly won round 2 than 3, honestly.
But you know what? I don't know. I had a weird feeling about this one, bro. Like, I gave it to Ponzinibbio, but just, like, I swear to God, like, I just knew the judges were going to disagree with me. Like, I don't know if that's because I was betting or what, but, like, I just, like, I had this just, like, gross feeling of, like, I just have a feeling I'm still losing this bet. Like, I just had a feeling. Even though I disagree with the logic and I have my own argument, I swear, bro, I just didn't have that stoked feeling. I just didn't have it.
Well, man, so I mean, getting to the judges' scorecards, one judge has it 29-28 Pajeda. That's going to be Mike Bell. One judge has it 29-28 Ponzinibbio. That's Junichiro Kamijo.
That's the right scorecard. Which, God damn it.
The last judge, Ron McCarthy, scored it 30-27 for Pajeda.
And it's just like,
bro, kick him out. What are we doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing? If it would have been a couple of 29-28s, I would have swallowed, you know what I'm saying? Just swallowed my pride, you know, took it on the chin.
The 30-27 hurt me because I was like, there's no way you see all three of these rounds for Pajeda.
Dude. That's how, how do you think it hurt me? It busted my parlay on, some bullshit.
It shocked me, honestly. I mean, honestly, after watching the fight, I thought Ponzinibbio won the fight. I feel comfortable saying Ponzinibbio won the fight.
But we didn't necessarily talk about what happened in round 3. The reasons I gave round 3 to Ponzinibbio, I mean, the jab was fucking money.
He started tagging up Pajeda in round 3.
Some people don't like jabs. I love jabs. I think jabs are. I'm a big fan of jabs, so maybe that's subjective. But he was landing that fucking stiff ass.
Well, round 3 was a weird reversal, right? Of Ponzinibbio landing more volume, but with less effective power, and Pajeda landing some big shots, but really a lot less volume. A lot less, though.
Exactly. It's like the rounds that they gave to Pajeda.
So I don't get how you give 2 to Pajeda based on volume, but you can't give 3 to Ponzinibbio on. What was your criterion? You know,
you said it better than I was saying it. Thank you. Yes, you translated my thoughts. That was I could not agree.
You can't have your cake and eat it too in this situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude. No, I agree. That's whack. That's inconsistent. That's cherry picking. That's a lot of things. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, you know what? All night I was thinking decisions were Holm, and then the Park Andrus fight. I forgot that Pajeda Ponzinibbio was so controversial because it got fight of the night, and then kind of my revisionist history settled in. It's just it's just one of those close fights. But you know what? Now that I'm actually rethinking it and diving back into the details of the fight, I might have to call bullshit.
I'm not going to roll up the hill, but I'm damn close. You know what I mean? And Ponzinibbio's reaction was right. As soon as he heard 30-27 and then they read Pajeda's name as the winner, he was looking around what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just absurd. Go ahead and introduce this main event. I'll be right back. Gotta take a piss break.
Actually, I'm going to grab a beer, so we'll just get a little cut in here.
Perfect. Oh, look at that timing.
Yeah. Ooh, the color's holding up nice. We're looking good.
Oh, that's sick, dude. Yeah, my boy Harrison got his first tattoo. As you can see, I've been plenty along in the game. But, hey, man, are you hooked? Are you hooked?
Yeah, I actually have a lot of design. So I'm going to get Salvador Dali's melting clock over my kneecap. So when my knee is bent, it's melting. And when it's upright, it's a straight clock.
Dude, I want to get something on my elbow because, I want to eventually get my forearm, but, I don't want to have just, a gap here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is so, established. I need some, connect. But yeah.
I work with a girl that just did her elbow, and she said it didn't hurt that bad.
You know what? You can't trust girls. No, seriously. I've never met a girl that said tattoos hurt. And they're all either psycho or lying because – dude, fuck that, dude. Tattoos fucking hurt. I've had plenty of them. My chest, bro, I felt like I was having, surgery while I was awake. Dude, fuck what anybody's talking about. That shit be sucking. But it's cool because it's you suffer for a little bit and then, you get something permanent.
What'd you think about your arms? How'd those feel?
So cake. Like this shit, cake, nothing. Now this shit is goddamn all this shit. Oh fuck that shit. That shit fucking sucks. It literally just felt. This is what it feels like, bro. It feels like they have like a scalpel and they're just fucking going like this. Like you're getting a scoop of fucking ice cream with a scalpel. That's what it got. Like this shit in the chest.
See,
Legs are easy. Like I have all my calves done. That shit's a cake. That shit's easy. Calves.
so the back of your calf didn't hurt?
It hurt worse than the side of my calf, but in the grand scheme of things, wasn't that bad. Like still easier
Nice.
than like biceps sucks cock. This shit fucking sucks cock. Chest fucking sucks cock. Legs and like
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
shit
that's why I
is
decided I'm
easy.
gonna do a leg sleeve. Now that's gonna suck when I get to my ankle. And the kneecap's gonna suck too, I think.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely parts of the leg that suck, but just broad stroke.
And probably
Like
back of my thigh is gonna suck too. But that's fine.
anything torso is pretty brutal. Like let's just put it that way. But
Yeah, we'll be saving those. We'll be saving those.
no, I'm happy for you though. No, welcome to the club. Welcome.
Yeah,
You're
appreciate it.
initiated. That's sick though. So I mean, you want to take all this time? I mean, so that's what the freestyle wrestling logo,
Oh
right?
yeah. Who wants to see it? Yeah, USA Freestyle Wrestling logo.
And so like, talk to us a little bit about that. Like shit. Like what?
So
You
like
know?
wrestled 2 seasons of freestyle in my life, which is like the international standard for it. It's a different rule set. Obviously wrestled all through high school and last year at Alcott before that. And then, people ask me still to this day, what's your favorite sport? For me, it's the honest answer is wrestling. Like I loved it, man. It was just
Really?
me versus the other guy. I didn't have to depend on anyone else and I couldn't blame anyone else. So like I like the accountability and I like I like to bet on myself. I'm that kind of a guy. So those two things together made the sport so intriguing for me. And then the level of physicality, we're both football players. That's obviously a highly physical sport. Well, so is wrestling, but it has so much more little technique involved into it.
I just realized I was like, I have my sport tatted on me too. I didn't even
Yeah.
really realize that.
Yeah. And so for me, like, I'm really a pale dude, right? So I was like, color's going to look good on my skin. So went to like a watercolor artist and just one day I was thinking about it when I got my nose re-pierced recently. I was like, you know what? I want to get the freestyle logo on my tattoo because like wrestling is something that everything it taught me outside of wrestling, I still use to this day. You know what I mean? Like the mental toughness and endurance is just like I'll never not talk about it or I'll never forget it rather.
When people ask me like, "Oh, you have any regrets?" Like, and these, I guess, are kind of meathead regrets to have. I guess out of all things, I could go back, but like, this is really my regrets. Is like not playing baseball in high school because I was really good my whole life at baseball. Like, I like legit could have maybe had a future at it, and then wrestling, like, because every wrestler I knew was the best athlete I knew, yourself included in that statement, and like.
Appreciate it.
And Roman and fucking Jaime and all these guys that like were just the best fucking athletes I knew, and it seems to translate into life. You see a lot of football players get out of shape. Like football doesn't translate. Something about that wrestling fucking like there's like a chassis. It builds like a chassis on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
for real. It's like a
pain,
mindset. Like when stuff sucks, it never sucks as bad as it did whenever you were going through the worst days in wrestling.
Like the paint might chip, the fucking axle might was squeaky, but the goddamn that chassis still solid. You know what I mean?
It's like that old school steel body car. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, man. And there's something about wrestlers, and as an athlete myself, you meet a lot of wrestlers. I played rugby, played football, and you meet wrestlers. I always have a high regard for wrestlers. And there was that time, I think you remember this. It probably wasn't shit to you, but for me. That one day it was like raining or a tornado warning or some bullshit, and they took us to the wrestling room, and we did y'all's warm up, and we was all and we was all fucking dead, and like it was like the worst fucking day of my football career. Was the one day I did a wrestling warm up like that. Hey, I'll say that like some football players may have an ego or try to protect. Man, and I went through some insane college workouts. That day fucking sucked up there with the worst of them. That was just like the warm up. So
Yeah,
yeah,
warm up was always 20 minutes of just straight cardio, like a jog, and then they like you run sprints on sometimes, like on the whistle, you hit sprawls coming down one side, like yeah, it was tough.
and like I was a fast twitch guy. Like
Yeah, that endurance
I
is different.
I never a day in my life did any endurance really, which is whack. I would have like probably been a better athlete had I done that. But I did everything explosive, everything burst, and it had its
You would have
elements
been a
to it.
good wrestler for all of those same attributes, though. Like guys like Jordan Burroughs, like
Out
they're
of
insane
out of
because of their
gas,
fast twitch.
out of gas. All right, man. We'll get to it. You're Marc Andre Barrion over here at the Power Bar, but
Power bar.
but man, the main event of the evening, and really, I know we got off topic, but that's no disrespect to the main event because I was stoked for this main event. This main event was impactful. I mean, like I said, I had money on it, and also just for the division. I mean, this was kind of a number one contenders match. Like now, nobody had officially said that, but it was kind of just implied. We got 2 versus 5 here. We got Holm, former champion at number 2, which being number 2 as a former champion means different than being number 2 as some up and coming prospect. Like a former
Very good
champion
point.
has more like claim to like the title shot than a lot of these young cats. And then Ketlen Vieira coming off the Misha Tate win, which I think a lot of people forget. And she was a big underdog in this one. My plus 185 when it was all said and done. I think I took her at plus 205. And she was the 5th ranked bantamweight, taking place in the women's bantamweight division. It's like 2 versus 5, old guard versus new guard. Like I said, there's just a lot of arguments to be made that this was a number one contenders match. Now,
I think that's the way they sold it to us. Wouldn't you agree?
I didn't watch a lot of the lead up shit to this one, so like I wasn't really sold anything. So I'll trust your opinion on that. Is that how you feel?
Kind of how I feel. I mean, I
Okay.
think Felder said it once during the fight where he was like, he alluded to it effectively being a number one contenders match, and for Holly Holm that if she wins,
Exactly.
she's getting the shot. Like it's guaranteed for her.
Well,
But in the same aspect, if Vieira beats 2, does she not become 2? And then from there, she's on a win streak.
Former champions back to back, right?
Right.
Two of the most famous bantamweights of all time, back to back.
Right.
Right. It's kind of a contenders match.
Exactly. And for someone like Juliana Pena, it's a fun matchup. You know what I mean? Even her against Nunes isn't the worst matchup in case Nunes does reclaim that title. Now, if she does, that's going to do a third fight, obviously. But
I think that's why they did declare it. And
you can't commit to it because it's like, well, if Pena now loses, you got to give her and Nunes the settling of their rivalry.
I know, dude. And it's like, I get it. I just wish, oh man, I'll never get
Championship
my way.
trilogies are usually the best thing in fighting combat sports, but I kind of hate them in the UFC.
It's just like getting just the rematches of just so many rematches. Like,
but
so
are you
many.
not hype as hell for Holloway Bulk?
I am. I fucking am.
And that's not even a 1-1 trilogy. It is, but it's not.
It's just one of those things, but it's just, you know what it is? It's cool to watch when it happens. It's just like played out to talk about. We're not talking about business. And it's like, but it's not just talking about it. It's other people talking about it. Like the lead up to it, it doesn't have that same feeling. Now the fight itself, what takes place inside the cage, usually awesome. And we're all going to buy and we're all going to watch. And the ratings will be great, and which will lead the UFC to do it again. It's just, I'm a parody guy. I like when teams make the playoffs and the sports and all that. You know what I mean? So it's just.
I think to speak to your point, I'm really happy that it's not Figueiredo Moreno 4, and now it's Moreno Car France for the interim title, because I'm so much more happy to see that fight for Car France for one, because I think he deserves it, And
Yeah.
two, I was kind of getting tired of the Moreno Davis and Figueiredo thing. Now, granted, they're 1-1-1. Like they ultimately have the best record as far as a rivalry in sports, right? For combat,
I
like they're
know,
gonna
but
fight a fourth time and make the record final, unless it's a draw, which there's no way. But like there is a way,
when does it turn into Fast and Furious, right? Fast and
right? Like how many
Furious, they
times can
keep
I see
making
it?
money. They keep being big movies. They keep making more. And so, but like, I stopped watching like 3 movies ago. So maybe that's just my personality. You know what I mean? But like, I feel like it's happening in the fight world too. Like, everything's a rematch. And it's like, I don't know. It's like I don't know. Like I said, I'll watch it. I'll enjoy it. You got me beat there. You know, like, I don't really have a counter argument, but
Man, I'm just looking at the money and you know what? We were Alan Amadovsky was the line moved in his favor before that fight. He started as a bigger underdog than he finished. That's embarrassing. Now, to my point, or to the point of this fight that we're talking about here, Holly Holm and Ketlen Vieira, the same is true for Holly Holm. She became a bigger favorite as the fight moved closer from opening.
you know
And
what?
I disagree with that. I think your take was spot on.
I like, you know what? I'll be honest, bro. This is like a hot take and kind of a controversial one. And like, in hindsight, I felt so strongly. I didn't even look at other money lines and until because I was going to bet Vieira regardless. Like, Vieira is what made me want to bet this whole card.
She's
And
on her run too, you know what I mean? Like she's
that's
putting it
how I
together.
feel. You got the young fucking killer versus Holly Holm, just turned 40. And this is the kicker, bro. And hey, everybody has their different like evaluations of ring rust. I like really value ring rust, especially as a bettor. Like, I'll almost bet against ring rust more than I'll even consider the money line or like literally, like, bro, like, I am anti ring rust better. And that was like my main catalyst. Yeah, Vieira, she just beat Misha Tate. Okay, cool. Misha Tate had her own ring rust, so it was like a grain of salt. But when I saw Holly Holm hasn't fought in 19 months, bro, listen, you know what taught me
It's a
this
long
lesson?
time for her too.
I learned this lesson. They say you learn things the easy way or the hard way. We all had our moms tell us that as kids. You don't learn this the easy way or the hard way. I learned this lesson the hard way as a Conor McGregor fan. Like,
Yeah, oh my God.
ring rust. That's why I overvalue ring rust. Like, I'm a Conor McGregor guy at heart. Ring rust,
McGregor was never better than when he was fighting often.
bro. It's the classic example of ring rust, and so I always factor it in, especially as a bettor. And Holly Holm was getting all the money, all the the money line of respect. The Vegas, the analysts were picking Holly Holm. I
Hell,
didn't see it. I felt strongly about it, bro. Now, how is this
Shevchenko
gonna?
is Shevchenko spoke to it before as well, where she even told the UFC, I think 2 fights ago, like, I don't care who I fight, I just want to be active. Like I have a limited time and I want to stay active. That's important to her, and I think she's probably the best women's fighter of all time. So take it from her that
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
staying active
working.
is important. Like she
No,
wants
it's
to
so
be in there
important.
getting those reps.
Yeah, no, bro. Like, that's why, like, I think Costa fucking
How the fuck is Paulo
Rockhold.
Costa going to make 85?
Costa Rockhold's coming up at a catch weight of 195. I'll be
Yeah, I
hearing
was
it
going to say, no,
first.
it's not coming up at 185. I'm so glad you
And
said that.
it's coming, and then Rockhold will accept it because he's old, not trying to cut the weight, and he'll be like, "Hell yeah, I'll pound a beer just like you just did." And then somewhere in Santa Cruz, and then bro, I'm betting the house on Costa. I hate Costa. That's like the good kind of hate
You're
bet.
betting the house on Costa?
Bro, what are we talking about here? You got to bring it full circle. We're talking ring rust. We're talking ring rust. Keep up. Keep up. We're
But
talking ring.
Costa hasn't fought in almost 2 years as well.
He's fought like
Oh no, no,
SWAT.
no! He fought Vittori. He fought Vittori and missed weight by 20 pounds. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. And
He almost got cut. He almost got cut.
bro, he's fought like 3 times since Rockhold's fought.
I mean, yeah. When is Costa fighting? Is that out?
That's coming up.
It's not on here. It's announced. I just can't find what card it's on.
But you see what I'm saying here. I'm betting against Rockhold because of ring rust. But let's dive into the fight. We've gone so far off the rails because, I mean, What rounds do you score? No, we got to go round by round. This is highly controversial.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
How do you see round one?
I think round one was a Holly Holm round. I
Me
think
too.
that's one of the most clear rounds,
Yes.
which is important
But
because
can I stop you there from a high, I don't know. Just hear me out. I think so. You said round one was a clear round, and I agree with you. I think any other round that she wins is clear in the same way because they all look the same. You hear
yes,
me out there?
yes,
Does that
I
make
get what you're
sense?
saying. I get what you're saying.
So if that one's clear, how are the other ones not clear?
I think
That's what
one and
this.
five. I think 1 and 5 are clear to me. I think two,
Yes.
3, and 4 are extremely murky.
See, I had two really the only
I think
murky.
2 is clear to Vieta.
I had two being the murkiest round, but two Vieta. So we came to the same
I thought
conclusion.
3 was the murkiest.
And everybody agrees with you. For whatever reason, I didn't have a trouble scoring three. I thought two was harder to
So,
score.
and you
But
thought 4
fighting's
was
weird.
Vieta's?
And yes, round four was clearly
So,
Vieta. So
okay, so I think the even rounds are Vieira's.
yes, 2 and 4 to Vieta. Yes, I
I think
completely
1 and
agree.
5 are home rounds.
Also have the same on my scorecard. Yes.
So I think 3, 2 arguably, but 3 I think is where it gets so murky.
Yes, well, because of Vieta ended the round strong, and I think I've been consistent. I've been leaning towards the person that won the majority of the round. Now you've been consistent in leaning towards the person that stole the end of the round,
And
which
I
is,
and I stayed true to that.
and I stayed true to it as well, my friend.
So you had
So
Holly Holm taking the third.
yes, I did.
Okay, well I had Ketlen Vieira taking the third, but you agreed with Saudi Amato. I would have agreed with Derek Cleary or Mike Bell, but so for people at home, the decision comes out as a split decision, 48-47 for two judges for Vieira and 48-47 on Saudi Amato's card for Holm. And I think it's a super close fight, but I might have a hot take here in saying that if I'm judging this from a 1FC perspective, Holly Holm wins this fight.
Well, I think Holly Holm wins the fight regardless, but I'm kind of talking out of both sides of my neck because I thought Holly Holm fought a snoozy strategy. I didn't enjoy
Terrible,
the
boring,
rounds she
awful
won were
strategy.
the worst rounds to watch. The rounds Vieira won were fucking sick to watch, and she was letting the hands go and landing on a boxing Hall of Famer, right?
That's what made it so hard to score, though, right? Was that the fight took place in such a weird, like, clinch striking battle. Like, it wasn't a lot of stand up and range, and when it was clearly Vieira. So, like, Holly
Exactly,
Holm just
which is
murkified
weird.
all the rounds.
So weird
It's so weird
that
for Holly Holm to
Holly
do that. I
Holm's
mean,
a
I think it shows she's
boxer.
getting older and kind of losing that speed and reaction.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Be a
future
wrestler
bets
now.
for people at home were taking anyone against Holly Holm.
Yeah, she did, and they were talking about on the broadcast. And that was kind of brutal. They were just pretty much saying like,
Yeah, they
yeah,
were
she's
roasting her. Like, Dean Thomas was
like,
like, I don't know, ever since she hit 40, like, she's literally slowed down. And I was like, Jesus
yeah. I
Christ.
thought the same thing, man. That was pretty goddamn brutal. But also maybe not wrong. I bet Vieta, but I scored the fight to home. So like I said, I'm a real motherfucker. But
Sheesh.
but seriously, I thought home won 1, 3, and 5
So you had the
relatively.
odd rounds for Holm, even rounds for Vieira.
Yeah, and I thought round two was the closest round. Now that's kind
I
of
think
my
a
own.
lot of people at home agreed with you. Well, so many people I saw had it 2-2 going into round 5.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I guess that's the closest I'll come to a hot take is that round two is closer than round three. I'll probably get pushed back there, but
Well, I feel like it's a hot take for me to say that Vieira won 48-47, but Holly Holm wins the fight on a 1FC, like, overall, not round by round. Like, I think she won more of the fight, but just didn't win the rounds. I don't know, man. It's hard. This was a super
well,
close fight.
and God damn it, I hate when people say this, but I'm about to fucking say it. God damn it, fucking Holly Holm won the sport, and Caitlin Vieira won the
Oh, my
fight.
God.
She won the fight, but Holly Holm won the sport. That's
No,
what
I think
happened.
Holm won the sport and Vieira won won the, or I'm saying I think Holm won the fight and Vieira won the sport.
No, because all Holm did was clinch and goddamn snooze fest bullshit. Vieira was landing fucking
So weird
strikes
though.
down the pipe.
That's true, but like overall control.
Home. I scored it to Home, but I'm saying that's what.
And I scored it to Vieira. But Holm landed 190 strikes to Vieira's 120.
Those strikes were goddamn horseshit. Fuck those stats. Everybody's been on Twitter talking about that exact same stat you just fed me, and I don't. My eye test disagrees with that.
She had 10 minutes of control time to Vieira's 1 minute and 20.
That's the real story.
All the stats lean Holm. That's what confuses me about why I think Vieira would have won rounds 1 or 2, 3, and 4.
To Home, but I said I bet on Vieira. So the only reason I lost my parlay was goddamn the
Chidi and Jokuani being a monster.
Fucking fucked me. Yeah, but I got saved by the judges on the Park fight and on the Vieira fight because I think Holm really won the fight.
So many splits, man, and I kind of hated the judging last night.
And
I don't necessarily blame the judges. I think some of those fights were horrible to judge because of the way they were being fought.
The prelims are better than the main card, bro.
Prelims were so much better than the main card. It was not even close.
We may have future champs on those prelims.
Yeah, the prelims. Right, like the prelims had like fire fights, and also like Martinez is going to be a ranked bantamweight. I think his style alone provides him the opportunity to be there and maintain his place there.
Lose. You have to be like a genius. You either have to be a genius or a monster to beat him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. Like you either have to be overwhelming or you have to be better at his game than him. And I don't think that's many people in the 135.
Exactly. He's like performing surgery. Like I said, if there's just some super athlete that just runs through him, all right, maybe. Or some Dagestani wrestler, all right, maybe. But like I said, if you're trying to outstrike Martinez, fuck off.
Good luck. Yeah, good luck.
I'll bet my rent against it.
Yeah, as Liam Neeson would say, good luck, or have said to him. But also, I mean, Chase Hooper and Sam Hughes, they were, I thought, rising stars from the bottom of the card. I thought the prelims were just much better as a whole.
Prelims were gas, and that's why you should check out the Beefy Boys breakdown on YouTube because we're the podcast that talks about the prelims every single fight, every single night, every single card, even the fight nights. Yes, sir. We cover them all, and you should subscribe on YouTube. Check out some videos, leave some comments.
I'll put a link like here for the prelims.
Yeah. Check out the prelims because we covered every single fight, and they were honestly better than the main card. Hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah. Also, for those of you watching at home,
episode 90.
For also those of you watching at home, click the box here. Click the box over here if you want to see our clips playlist, where you can just see singular fights that are the key fights of the card.
Do it, yes, sir. Check them out. Clips over here. Yes, sir. Another good episode next week. We got episode 90. Actually, you know what? I think there's not fights next week. I think we have a week off. Do we have a week off? Is that right? Let's see. We have Volkov Rosenstruik on the 4th of June, so Memorial Day, we are off that weekend. Yeah, we're off Memorial Day, so we'll have hella clips for you. Stay tuned for the clips. You know what's interesting as well, that final note, Volkov Rosenstruik, only fight that's officially announced on ESPN for that card. I know. I saw, but MMA Bets has the whole card, so it's like. Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, so. Oh, yeah. Weird. Poliana Botelho, Andreas Michailidis. Pretty thin card, man. Damon Jackson, Derek Minder's going to be all right. I know, and Damon Jackson's a huge favorite, which I think is weird. Hey, man. Oh, Dan Ige, Movsar Evloev. Yes, that's the fight. That should have been the main event. Aaron Blanchfield, J.J. Aldrich. Yes, you know, the Blanchfield guy. And then the other big fight, I would say, Alonzo Minifield, Askar Mozarov. That's going to be good. Jeff Molina, Zalgas Jumagulov. That'll be a good one. Oh, no, I got Molina. I think I'm actually going to bet money on Molina. I was looking at that. All right, here's one to keep in mind for bets, future bets. Molina and Evloev. How about Nicholas Stoltz at plus 125 against Benoit Saint Denis or Saint Denis? Remember Saint Denis, the guy that we were saying like just quit and like literally was like
It's one of the worst
And he's
beatings
the
you've ever seen a
favorite.
dude take.
And he's the
Yeah,
favorite. Oh,
yeah.
that's my parlay then. That's my parlay.
Nicholas Stoltze.
I got Evloev, Stoltze, and what did I say?
Minifield or Molina or
Molina. Yep. That's my parlay.
it's not bad, man. You get Molina at -160 or Caesars, which is I think the odds that you get to see. What you get him at 170. You get Evloev at -300, and you get Stoltze at +125.
That's my parlay. Fuck
Easy.
Let's get this money.
Let's get this bread.
Money. Yes, sir. Hey, another fun episode of the Beefy Bets breakdown, and you can see us sweat. You know, we're balls deep in it. And, yeah, we're going to have our first in-person episode on International Fight Week. Stay tuned for that. Support the YouTube channel, Beefy Boys Breakdown. Appreciate you, bro. Another fun night.
Yes, sir. I will see you in a couple weeks. We'll talk some bets maybe next week.
Yeah, so can't wait.